Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tidbits. Monday. This is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, yes. Special day for a lot of people out there. Shout out to Everborn Saga, our buddy that's spending the weekend in Paris and just proposed to his now fiance in front of the Eiffel Tower. Wow,
That was awesome.
He's showing us all up. He's showing us
Yeah.
up big time on Valentine's Day. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. We're gonna have some fun talking games releasing this week. We're gonna discuss the Horizon Forbidden West review scores, and all of this awesome stuff happening this week. This is a good week for games. Baby, how come I didn't propose? And my wife's starting in the chat. How come I didn't propose in Paris? I've never been to Paris. However, I did propose to you with fireworks. So don't forget
That's
that
awesome.
in front of a crowd of people. Come on, give me a little bit of credit. What's up, Geezer Prime? How's it going? What's up, Basket Whiz? I hope everybody's having a great day today. As always, I'm joined by the amazing, smooth-toned, fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzzy?
So thank you everyone for coming out today. Man, this is going to be a pretty decent week for game releases. I think this is just like pretty much the start of the ramp up, but man, oh man, Valentine's Day. Hopefully everybody has some fun today with their loved one, and man, let's look at these new games coming out this week.
Yeah, man. Dude, this is a good week. Like I said, a shout out to Outbreak Podcast. So yeah, for those asking, yes, I proposed in front of fireworks a long time ago. It's been a long time now. Wow. To a song, there's a concert in like a local town thing where they're doing like a big festival on July 4th. So that's how that happened for us. But still, that's not the Eiffel Tower. I mean, holy crap. Everborn is like I said, is making us all look bad. So guys, this is a good week for video games. Shout out to Game Informer again for putting this list together. It's not always complete, but like it's got the big hitters in here for sure. So we're going to discuss these games, and we're going to check out some of these review scores also for like Horizon Forbidden West, because it's getting a lot of discussion today. All right, so we got, first off, before we get to some of the bigger ones, we got Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. This is releasing tomorrow or tonight at midnight, maybe, depending on what their actual release schedule is. Platform is PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, and PC. Now, are you a Dynasty Warriors fan, Fuzzy Belvedere?
I haven't played one in a while. I mean, they're good fun as far as just I won't say aimlessly, but like it just chopping a whole slew of soldiers with one swipe type of thing is can be fun at times. I haven't played one in a while though, but this 9 looks like it's a good bit of a graphical improvement, and I think they've improved over, I guess it was 8 or something like that was kind of not so well received because of it being buggy or choppy or something like that performance wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I never have been into these games. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So like, you know, when the Nintendo announces like these other ones, these spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors and like Fire Emblem Warriors and all these things, I just like I don't care. There was one that I kind of liked back on the 360. It's called 99 Nights. That was similar to this that I kind of got into. But this is a big franchise. It's like, I mean, this is Dynasty Warriors 9, right? It stood the test of time. So, you know, this is still a big release for a lot of people. So shout out to anybody that's a Dynasty Warriors fan getting their sequel. It looks like there's a lot of character customization, a lot of characters in there. That's pretty cool. Who publishes this Dynasty Warriors? I don't even know. Is it a Namco? I don't know. Koei Tecmo. Okay, Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
You know what? It looks like a Dynasty Warriors game. It does. That doesn't surprise me. Does it? I mean, I don't know. You could put this up against Dynasty Warriors 8 or 7 or 6 or 5 or 4 or 3, and I'd tell you, yeah, that looks like the Dynasty Warriors. So cool, awesome.
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors hitting tomorrow. Now moving on, Fuzzy, we got Assassin's Creed the Ezio collection releasing on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So again, more ports to the Switch. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a cavalcade of ports to the Switch the last few months. It's been crazy. Everything's coming to the Switch. This is releasing on the 17th.
Mhm.
And I think it's like, what you said, like $40, something like that. 30 bucks, $40.
Yeah. Yeah. So for $40, it's not a bad way to get back into Assassin's Creed on your Switch. So if you
Mhm.
want to play pretty much a stealth game on the go, it's a pretty decent pickup.
Yeah. These are the Ezio games are some of my favorite Assassin's Creed games for sure. So,
Mhm.
I think that anybody that's missed those, especially a lot of younger gamers, right? They're just only really see Assassin's Creed for what it is now, right? These
Yeah.
big, huge open world like RPG type experiences. I think that seeing these more focused ones would be pretty cool, you know. So I think
Yeah.
that it's good. Let's get into the Switch port.
Mhm.
Ezio is one of the best game characters ever, probably.
Yeah.
I'm still an Altair stan, right? He's still my favorite
Mhm.
assassin, but Ezio's a very close number 2. Where does this rank, like these games, to you for Assassin's Creed? Are they up there or?
They're up there, but I'm actually more of a fan of the newer style,
Yeah.
although I tend to use more stealth elements as far as when I clear the strongholds and things like that. But these like I would say everything prior to was it not Black Flag, prior to Unity, I've grown to like them more than when they originally came out,
Yeah.
but I still like the open world stuff. It's just Valhalla has been a little tougher to complete compared to the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Like Origins 100%ed, Odyssey 100%ed everything, but the DLC I'm about 70% complete on that. But Valhalla is like the only one where I'm at like 60% or 70% done with the game. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna take a bit of a break from it for
Right.
right now.
Yeah. No shame in that. It's again hits on the 17th. So anybody looking forward to that? It's coming to the Switch. We'll see how it does on the
Nice.
Switch. I mean, a lot of these games, I can't imagine enjoying them honestly on the Switch, but there's people out there that are playing them and enjoying them. So
Yeah.
now this one, I'm actually a little pumped for, Fuzzy.
Yeah.
And this next one on the list, King of Fighters 15. Now we haven't really gotten a lot of good fighting games in the last several years. I mean, the
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat's still been strong.
Yeah.
We have the Injustice series. The last Street Fighter game was Street Fighter 5. Other than that, I mean, we had Soul Calibur, we had Dead or Alive, but like, there's not like regular releases like we used to get. You know. So
Yeah.
this is for what it's looking like. If you like traditional 2D plain fighting games, this looks like it's finally a huge step up for King of Fighters as far as visually. That
Yeah.
looks pretty cool, man. Like, I don't know, what are your thoughts on this game?
Already pre-ordered, although now that I see a flying mechanic and one that's coming up later, it's kind of like, oh man, I gotta go ahead and do another pre-order later today. But yeah, I'm not the biggest guy into fighting games, but it is something
Yeah.
that, like, just because I was always into arcades, playing Street Fighter and stuff like that, or any of the like SNK or Neo Geo based type games, those were always fun. So this one, I'm so glad that that they're coming out with a 15 and bringing back some of the older characters and stuff. But man, fighting game, a lot of different modes, a lot of uh, like unlocks, whether it be costumes, music, screen captures, things like that. It's like, man, this is what I've been
Yeah.
hoping for. I was hoping for a Street Fighter 6, but this will do nicely until then.
Yeah, I kind of miss the fighting games where like you start off with like Jack Squat and then you grind to unlock everybody and unlock all their outfits and all this stuff, and you just go through and play through the arcade mode or play through the short story modes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the art style of this thing, man. Like it really took a step up.
Fan favorites.
Yeah, it really took a step up in that area for me. Just the characters look amazing. So this is, I was kind of on my radar, but like it's really catapulted up because I think part of it's because I miss Street Fighter so much.
Mhm.
You know, like when did Street Fighter 5 come out? It was like early PS4 generation.
Yeah, I want to say it was either 2016 or 2017. Now they've updated it a couple of times, and I don't think it's like a turbo version or anything like that now, but they did add more characters as time went on. And the one thing with Street Fighter 5, they went slightly different, like character models. Like instead of it being like the traditional, more of like the arcade style, they went kind of like a blend between arcade and animation kind of thing, but less on the like animation of like Dragon Ball and more of like the animation of like it's kind of hard to say. It's almost like a JRPG type of like appearance as far as the character models and things like that.
Yeah.
But bulked up, of course, type of deal. But this one, it looks like more of like what I would expect to see in an arcade box if arcades are still pretty huge right now.
I think that people are saying that their net code on the SNK games is really good too for like online play. So that's something they keep pushing and talking about. So I expect this to play well online, which is another great thing for a fighting game. So there's really, I can't find a reason to not be excited about this game, including the reviews.
Yeah.
The reviews for this have actually been really good, and that's not, a lot of fighting games are not getting that great of reviews. You know, like this is in the 80s, I think, on Meta, and it's solid for a fighting game these days. You know, like I mean, look at all these modes they just went through even in there. I mean, it's a fully featured, fully fleshed out with lots of characters. It's got a great looking art style. The combat, the animations look great. The flashy moves and stuff with the splashes and the colors look fantastic. I mean, look, you got even like these fucking anime style art and videos and stuff. I mean, it just looks, I mean, 300 songs. This is just like, it's jam packed, dude. I mean,
they learned from, I guess, when Street Fighter 5 first came out, it was a little light on content in comparison. So I think they made sure this is going to keep you busy for a while, and then they have like a season pass. It'll either add 5 or 6 characters over the next 6 months or something, or next 3 months or whatever. So this will definitely keep fighting fans busy. I can see a lot of people streaming this on Fridays and Saturdays for fight night deal.
I'm gonna have a really hard time not getting this one day one. I mean, I just honestly, I mean, it comes out on the 17th, comes out this week. It releases, like you can see on this splash screen right here, PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Windows 10, Steam, and Epic Game Stores. So pretty much everywhere except the Switch.
Yeah.
That's surprising. Is that surprising to you?
I think it has to do with the power of the Switch, so it might have to go streaming, but we'll see. I have a feeling they may port it over later, but I think it's just, this thing is going to probably max out the next gen consoles. The previous gen, it'll probably dial things back a little bit as far as some of the like splash and fire effects and things like that. But I think overall this will definitely push the PS5 and the Series X and S.
All right, so what does the Omega edition include? Because you can tell there's this thick box, and I mean thick with 2 C's here. So it says Omega edition includes the main game, lithographs, soundtrack, a 119-page art book.
Wow.
A special slipcase, digital content, DLC costumes, Team Pass 1. I'm guessing that means for like new content coming.
Yeah.
Man, 119 page art book and stuff. Okay. I like, dare I say I want to get a physical edition of a game? Oh, look at this. 3 lithographs for like actually hanging on the wall? No way. Dude. This looks awesome. Soundtrack, art book. This is the way to do like a freaking collection. It's only I mean, that's a lot of content for $90.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they definitely did it up on this release.
Good job. Like, good job to them. Hey, props to the publisher here. I mean, SNK, you guys are kicking ass with this one. So, props to you on that. Koch Media, I guess, is the actual co-publishing with SNK.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, I mean, this could take off and become like a mainstay 2D fighting game, like one of the most played this generation, if nothing else comes out, right? I mean, nothing else is really on the horizon, right?
Yeah, I think like Dragon Ball Fighters was like that for a bit, but their online was
it's
a
so
mess.
complicated to figure out even how to play a match with a friend in that game, dude.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I mean, 3-bit, we're sitting there like, how do we, like, we eventually figured it out. But it's cool. I mean, you can walk around. You got this like little hub world, you know. I think they were trying to do that. Remember, like the Dead or Alive, was it 3 or 4 that had that? Where you could kind of walk around. You could watch the fights on the screen, and then you could like have a little character avatar and like be silly and stuff. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But like it's so convoluted in the Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is a great fighting game, right? So don't get me wrong. It's just very tricky to figure out if you just diving into it for the first time.
Yeah, and launch day, the servers were not necessarily cooperating, or at least on Xbox. I don't know if it was like that on PlayStation or not, but it was a bit frustrating.
Man, I really want that Omega edition now. Holy crap! I didn't even know it had all that. Like I didn't know. I mean, this is a problem with Tidbits. When we look deeper into these things, you discover something. Sometimes you're like, oh shoot, dude. All right. Wow. Okay. All right. So we got another one. Now this is an interesting game. Total War Warhammer 3. The Total War series is getting the next Warhammer entry. Total War is huge in the PC strategy space or RTS space. It's a freaking really popular series published by Sega, and this one is actually going to be in PC Game Pass day 1, everybody. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate on Xbox and you don't play many games on PC, you may want to give this a shot because you get it for free with your Game Pass subscription with PC Game Pass. And this is a big deal. Total War Warhammer 3. This is a pretty big franchise. Creative Assembly again. I mean, big time. Why is it taking me to Necromunda and stuff when I click on it? Warhammer, I guess, right? Creative Assembly is a great developer, makes big time RTS. Actually, for those of you that don't know, Creative Assembly is the developers on Halo Wars 2, and I believe Halo Wars 1. I'm not 100% on that, but check out Total War Warhammer 3 coming. I'm gonna get this trailer brought up here. Are you a Total War guy or at all? You play anything like this?
I haven't played it, but considering it's going to be in PC Game Pass and I'm an Ultimate subscriber, I'm definitely going to try it out. I haven't done too many RTSs on my new rig, but what was it? Total Annihilation, Homeworld, things like that. Those were right up my alley, and I'm looking forward to the next Homeworld that's coming out. But I didn't realize this was in PC Game Pass, so they're finally, bringing some hits to that.
Yeah. Again, it's a Sega published game. Like people say, like, well, the Sega Xbox partnership doesn't really mean anything other than Cloud and the Super Game Initiative. Well, since that announcement, like a couple days after that, we got the announcement of Total War Warhammer 3 coming to PC Game Pass day one. And we also have 2 Point Campus coming out from Sega day one as well into Game Pass, right?
Nice.
So there's Sega's relationship with them. You could say it doesn't have anything to do, but the basis is that Sega and Xbox's relationship is stronger, right? And they have this similar goal of reaching people via subscription, obviously, now. So they are teaming up and getting games on Game Pass day one, including this one. I mean, this is going to be a big game. Now, I will say it kind of hurts that Lost Ark just hit, right? And it's like it's taking over the PC gaming world by storm like crazy right now. So like it's not a great time to release a big fantasy style game on PC. However, Total War's always been popular, so I believe it'll still do well. It's just crazy how well Lost Ark has been doing, man. It's been I couldn't even get into a server. I wanted to try it, but the servers were all full. It was like a queue of 1,800 people in all the servers I was trying to get into. Crazy. Yeah, I haven't ever played a Total War game though, but this will be the first. I'm definitely gonna try it.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Now there's another game coming out this week. Now this one getting a little bit of conversation already. Some strange conversation. Sup Sour Blow, sup Outbreak, sup Back from Dead. The game coming out this week, coming out on the 18th. It's called this little franchise called Horizon. You know, this little game, the sequel called Horizon Forbidden West. One of the most anticipated games of the year. Already hitting in February. Another one hitting later this month, as well as one of the most anticipated games of the year. So February is a big month for releases. Big heavy hitters dropping. Horizon Forbidden West. Looks like Game Informer gave it a 9.25. And that is releasing on the 18th for PS5 and PS4. Are you excited for Horizon?
I'm even more excited for it now that I realize it has a flying mechanic. They wait until like the 11th hour to show it. Like, and they said this was going to be cross-gen. I know I was probably one of those fanboys out there that was a little upset that it was cross-gen, just because the developers had said that they wouldn't be able to do a flying mechanic because of the hardware of the PS4.
What? That's BS.
It looks like they've figured it out where you can basically grapple to one of the basically a pterodactyl and take control of it. So the one thing you couldn't do in the previous one, you can now do in the new one. So that, yep, I'm going to be buying like 4 games this month. So it's already
Elden Ring,
Dying Light, Sifu, King of Fighters, and then this one I was going to possibly wait until a sale, but man, oh man, I definitely got to pick this one up now.
Are you gonna get it Elden Ring as well, or no?
I might have to wait on that one. Sifu is going to be my tough game of the month.
Yeah,
Elden
that's
Ring,
true. You know, like you got 2 freaking like punishing games, right? We'll see how punishing Elden Ring is. They may have like eased up on it a little bit because of the open world nature. You know, I'm not sure, but like Sifu, I hear, is brutal.
Yeah. Now they did do well, they made it with the open world. You can kind of go around certain areas, so you don't have to fight every boss. So there is that kind of like Sekiro kind of element to it, but I think as much as I want to play it, I'm going to probably need some time to at least get a little bit further than the 3rd level on Sifu before I take on Elden Ring.
Now, for me, like Horizon is a series that for some reason I play the game. I played the first game and I'm like, yeah, this is really cool. Like I like the graphics. The story seems okay, and like the open world is amazing, and all these things. But for some reason, it just didn't really click with me. You know what I mean? So I didn't finish it. You know, it's something I still want to go back and finish at some point, but it just wasn't grabbing me to the point of like being something like, oh, I can't wait to dive back in, right? And so the other games had caught my attention, Now this one looks like it's going to be definitely even an improvement on that. So just because I wasn't super into the first game doesn't mean I won't be into this one.
Right.
It looks incredible. Like this is something I can look at and be like, wow, this is I can tell is an amazingly great game. But it's personally for me, it's something I feel like I'm gonna just wait on and pick up later, when
Mm,
it's on sale at some point because I just don't know if I'm going to love it or not, right?
yeah.
And like shout out to anybody who remembered to get it on PS4 if you're buying digital, right?
Yeah.
So here was the thing, right? If you because PS5, if you buy it digitally for PS5, you're paying $70, right?
Mhm.
But if you buy digital on PS4, you get a free upgrade. Okay, so that was something that they had promised for their certain releases that were going to be around launch, and because this game was delayed well past that, they had initially tried to get away with charging 70, and people called them out on it, and they actually reversed course, which was great. This is why it's great to speak up sometimes when
Yeah.
things go a little um, sideways, right? And people spoke up, and so they said, "Hey, yeah, we did say this. We had statements and we had interviews, and we also had an official advertising out there saying that these games were going to be upgraded for free. So we're going
Mhm.
to upgrade the PS4 version for free." The crazy thing is to me is that they still have the PS5 price listed at $70. And unless you buy it online or through the app or something, like I mean on your PC or through the app, the only option available on a PS5 is the PS5 version.
Right.
So your only thing you see is $70, right? So for me personally, I think they should have just dropped that price to 60 and then sold the game at 60 to everybody, right? Even the physical edition, that would have been the more fair thing to do in this
Yeah.
situation. Just because somebody didn't know or follow the news, they're gonna pay more than somebody that did follow the news, right? Most casual gamers and stuff or people that just play games but don't really follow gaming websites and follow gaming news. They just know that hey, Horizon's coming out. That's all they know. They see the commercials and all these things. They don't know, right? So they're gonna pay more than somebody just that happened to be on Twitter and saw this, right? So I don't really like that. I think it's kind of taking advantage of people's lack of information.
Mhm.
So I would have preferred them to just at that time just make it $60 across the board.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a little slimy to me. But however, it's a great game. So whatever you feel like you want to pay for it, that's up to you, right? A
Yeah.
lot of people did get the better versions either way. Like Back from Dead said, he got the digital deluxe version. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's going to be up to the consumer, up to the person on what they want to pay. But for a standard version, somebody walking into a game store isn't going to know. You know what I mean? Somebody buying digital isn't going to know. They should have put it out there more. They should have definitely had the it more clear for everybody. Um, but this other game's getting some controversy for some other reasons, Fuzzy. The ones that I really don't understand.
Yeah.
Apparently, people think 89 is not amazing.
It's so weird. Like I get it. A lot of people want this to be in the 90s so they can, tout it and stuff like that on social media. But I always look at it as anything that's above like a 75 or 79 is a good game. Anything above like an 85 is a really, really good game.
Yeah.
And when you get into the 90s, then it's like, how close is it from perfection or away from perfection type of thing from there. So but again in 89, I can't see why anybody would be upset or mad, but it, I think it's time when it comes to like places like Metacritic or even OpenCritic for that matter, just use that as kind of like maybe if you're on the fence guideline and still do your own research, whether you watch a particular streamer that you like or a game reviewer or like gaming website and go from there instead of putting so much energy or
In the meta.
emphasis on
Yeah.
Metacritic. It's a mixture of a whole bunch of
Opinions.
yeah, a lot of opinions. Some of them weighted more than others. Some of them have like their own agendas where they'll purposely give a bad score so people go to that site to get the traffic, and it's just a mess. But yeah, I 89 is fine. I don't think it's going to turn anybody away. You see an 89 and it's like, yeah, that's good. Like that's a B in school at least. So I can't see anybody being like, oh, 89, that
Yeah.
thing must be broken. That's trash. I'm not going to play this. That'd be ridiculous.
The other thing is too is like Meta like will award scores based on their perception of some of these review sites on what they're saying, even the ones that like have like a 3 out of 5 or something.
Yeah.
They'll make it like a 60. You know what I mean? Where it's like if you just do the average, right? But a lot of those 5-point scales, they don't do the 0.5. They don't, you know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
they could say 3 out of 5 and they like Meta could say 60, but like it could anywhere be between a 60 to an 80 to the reviewer. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's really, there's Metacritic is not a perfect system by any means, right? And it's like something people should not hold too much stock in as far as like the overall. But if you see that that score is green, right? Like that's usually means, hey, it's good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's fine, you know? So at that point, whether the score here for me, like on Meta, whether this said like 95 or 85, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter to me. What matters is that I know that it's at least quality, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like the Meta thing stands. The crazy thing is people actually get paid bonuses and all these things based on review scores on Meta, based
Mhm.
on overall Meta, which is BS because who's to say that, let me go to one of these lower reviews. Let's see. Sorry, I got to go through all these hundreds first, guys. All right. Who's to say that gamer.no should be responsible for somebody getting a bonus or not?
Yeah.
Right? Or like telegraph.com or like Steve Ivor or Us Gamers. Like, who's to say that their opinion on something should be dependent on whether somebody gets a bonus? Because if any of these were like 80 or 90, then this would be a 90, right?
Mhm.
Like that's just the way it is. That's the way these aggregates work. So really it's just doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You have 91 positive reviews. 91. So people using this on both sides. People saying on like PlayStation fanboys out there saying like, "Oh, screw these websites for not giving it a higher score." Look at all these freaking 100s. Are you serious? Right? And then they're also, some of them are also saying like Xbox paid off like people to get it below a 90. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, really? You know, and then
Yeah.
on the other side, Xbox fanboys are being like, it's not a 90. What's the difference between it and like, you know, Halo that's an 87, or like these other games that used to guys say are trash, it's like an 89. There's like, see, our games are good too. Just like stop using game aggregate scores as like freaking war tactics. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Just celebrate a good game.
Yeah. Is it fun to play? Does it look, good? Or and it doesn't have to be like look good as in, oh, it has to look like photorealistic. Just does it look like something that the devs took time to create and craft and give it its on-screen presence, and you're having fun while playing it. You want to come back to it after you set the controller down, type of thing. Those should be like the highlights. It's like, what was the most fun? Was it, like some of the screenshots I saw earlier, it's like it has a flying mechanic now. You can basically grapple to flying the flying dinosaurs or dinobots and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
and then fly across the map. That's huge because like big open worlds are great, but getting around them sometimes could be a chore. So having that ability is going to be huge. But
Yeah.
yeah, 89 is perfectly fine. It'll probably be a candidate for game of the year as well.
Yeah, I
So
will for
at the end of
sure.
the day, 89, you could throw that out the window. If you see it as a bad score, just take a break from gaming. You should probably focus on other hobbies
Yeah.
if you think 89 is bad.
If you even care It's like, come on. Like, you see, like, people like acknowledge that it's a great game. For me, that's all that
Yeah.
matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have some like sites that try and like get clickbaity articles where they'll give like a score ridiculous, give obviously a great game a ridiculously low score, right? And
Mhm.
I hate when those get weighted as well. That happens to lots of franchises. It doesn't appear to have
Yeah.
happened to this too much. You only have 4 that are like in the yellow here, and the
Mhm.
lowest one is a 60, which, you know, I don't even know what it is. The worst thing that he says is it fails to live up to its predecessor just about every way. While the world and its many new machines are stunning, the experience is bogged down, confusing design choices and variation for the sake of variation. This is just his person's opinion, right? It's
Yeah.
not like, I mean, it's just what they think, right? But you have
Mhm.
91 other people, 91 that disagree with him, right? So,
Yeah.
like, you got to weigh it into perspective. It's just people's opinions are just what they are, and I don't think they should hold power to weigh a bonus for actual employees of a game company, right? But
True.
other than that, like, I don't think they should also weigh into people's fanboy wars on Twitter either, right? Because
Mhm.
who's to say your opinion is better than mine?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a guy, right? I say that Crossfire X is one of the worst games I've ever played, right? That's just me, okay?
Mhm.
Now, if you like it, that's cool, right? I'm not trying to get you to stop playing it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah.
you enjoy it, that means you enjoy it, and I'm glad you enjoy it. But if I was on this list of Metacritics, I would be giving it like a 2.5 out of 10, right? And I would look like some asshole that's like trying to just bash this game, and but it's just my honest opinion. That game is like complete trash to me, right? So, but is
Yeah.
my opinion more valuable than yours, who actually is enjoying the game? If you're somebody that likes it, no, it's not, because you find value in it yourself and you enjoy it and you can find the good things in it that I can't, right?
Yeah.
So all of these people, these expert game reviewers, experts, right? They're just people like you, like me, that play video
Mhm.
games. The only difference is some of them get paid to actually write these articles.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, right? They're not in, like, they didn't go to school for game reviewing, right? You know, it's like, what's the proper way to actually review? What's the criteria here where in which I'm going to make sure that it's standardized and all these things? You know, like, they don't go to school. There's not like a master's degree in reviewing something, right?
Right.
So like it holds no value whatsoever other than their opinion and your opinion.
Mhm.
Overall, the general consensus of the massive opinions here is that it's a freaking great game. So
Yeah.
enjoy that.
I kind of like
Rant
what
over.
Sour Gaming was saying in the chat about a lot of times you'll have some of those sites just do a little bit of the game. Like they might only play like the first 10 or 12 hours. They didn't complete the game, which
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn on this whole review thing when it comes to the amount of time you put into the game. Like I understand some of these sites have but so many hours to put this
Yeah.
review out between, other games coming out and things like that. But like call it, instead of a review, call it like first impressions or initial
Hmm.
impressions. And then when you complete the game, if you should choose to complete the game, come back, give it a full on review, but at least try to complete the game or get to the point where, like, if it's a multiplayer game, you can't, there's no completing it. It's just put enough hours in all the different modes and try different things and see where you get from or go from there. But have it where ones where the reviewer completed the game or put in, let's say, 40 or 50 hours versus the site that put in 12 hours, maybe wait the one that put 40 and 50 hours in. Now then again, that might be more of a fan base, like not really an echo chamber at that point, but somebody that's putting in that amount of time versus somebody that's putting 12 hours in might be able, well, they're definitely going to be able to give you more of an in-depth review. But then again, you may also have, like for me, I'm going to put in 80 hours in like a Forza game. But when it comes to something like I don't know, like a puzzle game, I might only put like 10 hours because I got frustrated at like the last couple of puzzles or something like that. So it would be an unfair balance between those two types of genres if I'm not as much of a fan of that other one. But
Yeah,
I kind of like having it where there's some sort of weight to it in that regard, as far as how much the reviewer went into the game to give their opinion and stuff.
for sure, man. Well, looks like just in the middle of the show, Game Informer has added something to the list. Getsu Fumiden Undying Moon
Oh wow.
is releasing this week actually on PC. I guess it released last week on Switch, which I don't remember us covering this game, so I think they missed it last week as well.
Yeah.
So Getsu Fumiden Undying Moon is releasing this week on the PC, and it did release last week on the Switch. So, all right, so I'm going to play a trailer for that. I honestly have no clue what the hell this is. It's Konami. Wow, there's not too many Konami games out there.
Yeah.
Is this
Artwork
that like?
definitely has a I won't say like a horror look to it, but it should be interesting.
Does this look like a 2D scroller type action game almost? Maybe.
Yeah.
Looks pretty crazy, man. Ooh, trippy. What is that? It's a snake lady with boobs, like with. I don't know what that was. Look at the art style on this thing.
Yeah.
This looks pretty rad. Anybody been playing this on Switch the last week?
Wow.
Are you
I like
surprised by this? I'm a little surprised by this. It looks pretty cool.
yeah. I like the art style. It's like it has that colorful look, almost like Hades, but totally different perspective, obviously. But
Yeah,
yeah.
like a lot more demonic.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Hades is obviously has a big
It's like
challenge, and it's really really good. This looks like a traditional like side scroller hack and slash type.
mhm.
I don't know if it's Metroidvania or not. I haven't seen any of that stuff, but it looks pretty cool, man. I don't know how good it is. I wonder if it has any reviews out there.
Definitely like the art style for it. It has like the traditional 2D scroller side view, but the fact that they're able to, like, when the boss came out of the lava and stuff like that, and do kind of like that shift perspective and stuff. That's yeah.
Hmm. Oh, so it's like a rogue like with each attempt.
Yeah.
Okay, new map layouts and challenges to overcome with each attempt. Okay, it's like you can control different characters.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay, so all right, how much is this game? This is I'm gonna hit the purchase. We're gonna see what happens. I doubt it's gonna be there. No, Harvest Moon. Okay, so I'm gonna just Google it. We're gonna use Google. Okay. Getsu Fuma Den Undying Moon. It is first off seeing what its reviews. It has one review
Mhm.
from Nintendo Life, and it's got a 50 out of 10 out of 100. That's just one
Oh,
person's opinion, but that's not very good.
yeah.
All right, so all right, let's see. How much is it? And it is I can't even find it, man. On Steam it's $24.99.
Okay.
But
So it's around about the same price as Hades, I think.
it says it released in May 13th of 2021 on Steam.
I'm wondering if it's like an updated version or something, or
I don't know. All right, so I got to put in my age and stuff on Steam. Check this. It's got very positive recent reviews and mostly positive reviews on Steam. It says
Mhm.
it did release on May 13th, 2021. on Steam.
Mm.
So I don't know. Okay, here we
Maybe it
go.
was an early
Major
access.
update. Getsu Fumadin Undying Moon version 1.0.0 will officially launch on February 16th, 2022. So
Okay.
I guess it's been in like a preview or something, or it's getting a version 1.0. So it's going to be the
Yeah.
official release actually on the 16th, but it's been playable
Okay.
since the 13th of May.
So like an early access
I
or
guess so.
like you
Early
said,
access
preview version.
something. Yeah, beta version, something like that. What's up, Brian? How's it going? This is a game that you would actually probably be into, Brian. Getsu Fumadin Undying Moon. It seems like your style. It's one of those quirky games, a roguelike. But yeah, you guys let me know if you're watching after the fact or live or whatever, let me know which game from this week are you most excited about. For me, it's probably King of Fighters 15 and closely followed by Warhammer 3. And then I'm excited about the Horizon Forbidden West release. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, but I am going to wait on that one till later, and I'll get it on sale and give it a shot then, just because I didn't get too into the first one. But it looks like it's got amazing scores. So, yeah, it's a great week for games, Fuzzy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got, I think I got to check to see if I got King of Fighters preloaded, and I'm up here debating on if I'm going to remove something from my hard drive. I need to get that expansion thing on my PS5. I know that there was like a 50% off on one of those. It was like a 1 terabyte, and I think I slept and missed that sale. So I'm kind of kicking myself now. But man, good month, and it's not even halfway over, or it's just at the halfway mark. So man,
Yeah.
man.
Dude. So there's really no news either today, except for like this one article. Everybody bitching about Horizon reviews, which I don't understand why at all. And there was this one article from Gaming Bolt saying that the CEO of Platinum Games saying they are open to being acquired. Which is interesting as all get out, because I mean, who's going to acquire them? And there's not a lot of the Japanese publishers that have been seeming like they're in acquisition mode, right? Most of that's been the big Western publishers. So we'll see. Maybe Capcom can do something crazy and go get Platinum. I doubt that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
So, but I think they'd be potentially open to going to the West, but they do say creative freedom is a must.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be a new thing with a lot of these acquisitions as well, right? But everything that they said seems like they're gearing towards what Microsoft has been saying with their acquisitions about how, they're letting all of their developers make what they want and all this kind of stuff, right? So
yeah, I feel they're whispering to Phil. They already said, "Oh, Scalebound, we're open to making that," and it's like, we're also open to being taken over. It's like,
yeah, it's like, do you think they're like sending these signals out, like, "Hey, we want to work on games with you, and we also are open to being acquired, and we also like creative freedom," like pretty much all these things that have been out there in the news about Xbox these last couple years. Could they Xbox get away with acquiring a studio like Platinum right now under the with everything else going on? I mean, are they independent, like private company?
I'd have to check. I think they're independent. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I know with Microsoft right now, it shouldn't affect the Activision deal, but it will come into question. So I think the way Microsoft is trying to play it is let this Activision deal go through as fast as possible, and then get everything lined up. Like Phil's over there in Japan now, and I'm pretty sure he's talking to a wide range of studios out there. But if they were to be acquired, it's like, all right, we can't do anything before August of 2022 or something like that, or whenever this deal closes. So if we are to do this, these are our terms. What are your terms, pricing, and then have everything kind of like on a handshake, but not on paper type of thing. And then once Activision is like, oh, FTC approves, and it's like, okay, we can exchange money and they're part of us, and then Xbox can, a month or so after that, finalize the deal with Platinum. But I'm hoping the Activision deal goes through shortly after June of this year. I know they have from June to June of 22 to 23, but it just seems like they want to hurry up and get this thing going so they can, continue on with their plans of, building or expanding, Microsoft Gaming and Xbox and so forth.
Yeah, interesting. And I mean, Nintendo, maybe, I mean, they don't get big publishers or developers or anything like that, like usually. I think Tencent invested in Platinum, but I don't know if that was just like a private invest. Like, I don't know how all that stuff works, especially in Japan. So it's very interested to see what is possible with this company who's saying they're open to being acquired. Now, Tencent could acquire them as well, right?
There's, from what I remember hearing a few people in the know say, is that there is a bit of laws or rules for like that, or more of like a cultural block, only because Tencent being China based, there's still some, I won't say animosity, but there is still some feelings between those two nations that, a lot of the block rules that they talk about where it's hard to acquire a Japanese based company were kind of put in place to avoid like bigger companies from China possibly coming in, type of thing, or at least that's what I've been told. I wish I had all of the answers on that one, but Tencent is the type of company, they like just getting like little bits and pieces of investment because they know that they'll get that money back and then some, and then they might get somebody on the board, or they may make a bigger investment, and then it's like, oh, you fell on your face. Oh, well, now we own this much more of you. And
as for example, like supposedly Tencent owned or invested in Blizzard as well, like in things like that. So like definitely doesn't mean that there's no possibility of anything happening. It just means that they would get a piece of it, right?
Right.
They also have a 40% stake in Epic. Hold shares in Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, PUBG Corporation, parent company Bluehole, among others. Right, and they also own outright Riot Games.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. We'll see, man. I don't know what's going to go on with Platinum, but it seems like there's a lot of talk about them right now. So
yeah,
it's just weird seeing this stuff go public like this. Like, hey, we're interested in being acquired if anybody wants. Hey, let us make Scalebound again, please, Phil. Let's do it together. Strange stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Would Hideki Kamiya fit in with the culture of Microsoft as well?
Oof.
Right, with the way he handles his Twitter accounts and all this kind of stuff,
It probably not. Microsoft although we've seen Microsoft employees say some things they probably shouldn't have on social media and then delete their accounts.
Yeah.
So he could still fit in. It's just they would definitely want to coax him through some social media training, which he might resist, but they'll definitely work with him in that regard.
There's a lot of reasons I would think, okay, this is a very interesting, scenario here. But like the bottom line is for me that there's a lot of talent at Platinum. They make great action games, and I think they could tackle new IP because they've made a lot of new IP. Right? They made Astral Chain, they created Bayonetta, they've created. I don't know if they created Nier Automata or the Nier franchise. I know they worked on Nier Automata. Vanquish.
Yeah,
Vanquish, and they've proven to be able to translate other IP as well in like Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, Transformers, Devastation, and all these other things as well, right? So I think they could hold value to bring a specific style of game to a service or a platform on the regular that is missing a lot right now. You know what I mean? So if whoever gets it, I think could be an asset. They are currently making an exclusive game on PlayStation and PC called Babylon's Fall. Is that exclusive
Mhm.
or is that multiplat? I think it's only on PlayStation, isn't it?
I think it's exclusive or at least a timed one or something to that
That's
effect.
published by Square, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't even remember. Babylon's. Yeah, because wasn't it like at the Square conference and then followed up by the Final Fantasy game that almost
Hmm.
looked like exactly the same game?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for PS4, Windows, and PS5. Babylon's Fall. So they're
Yeah.
making
So it'll
that.
come to PC
Yeah.
first, and then no, it'll come to PS or PS4 and 5 first, then PC, or maybe at the same time. And then if it comes to Xbox, it'll be at least a
Yeah.
year, if not two later.
So just think about this: like, if you're an Xbox guy, right? The alternative is Platinum potentially going to Sony.
Yeah.
Right, and at that point, they just get more great Japanese action games, and Xbox still has a lack of them. Which I see some people always be like, Bayonetta is not that great and all these things, but these fans of those style games think those games are great, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not into that style, doesn't mean that there's not an audience for that style. And getting getting games like that is key in certain territories and things like that, as well as also growing a fan base and adding variety. So for me, if I was Microsoft, I would actually seriously look at this and consider it. But it depends on all of that other nonsense we talked about. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, for me, I not that I hold a grudge, and I hope Phil doesn't hold a grudge,
yeah,
but it would be a tough deal for me to want to sign just because of
yeah,
the history, whether
very
depending
interesting.
on the
Yeah,
stories that have come out. But it would probably be in Microsoft's best interest, especially to make bigger inroads in that region. You give a studio like that a second chance,
mm-hmm.
you work with them, acquire them, and it may open more doors that were completely shut before. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely worthwhile.
It's interesting because out of all the studios, it's like like some of the like history and working with certain people, there has been an issue with Xbox in the past. So it's like that's the thing. It's like how do you get past that? But it's a different
Yeah.
Xbox.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a different Platinum. Who knows, man? But regardless, I just want to see more of those kind of games come to that platform. So, um,
True.
and I would hate to see other games, other publishers still add on to their existing lineup of those style games and also keep bolstering it and keeping them off of the Xbox platform. For
Yeah.
me, just because I enjoy those style of games and I would like some of those style games in Game Pass. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting. Like, I think there's just we need more Japanese games on Xbox.
Yeah.
Hamad, yeah, we talked about that earlier. It's crazy. We've discussed this. Go back and watch. Talking about the craziness of the community sometimes with review scores and what they mean overall and all that kind of stuff. But hey, everybody, appreciate you tuning in to this episode this week of Tidbits. Big week for video games this week. I'm gonna go try and figure out if I can't sell something, and so I can go get the Omega edition of Kingdom Fighters 15. Because holy crap, that's like
Yeah.
$90 for that thing. But man, it's fully packed. And Fuzzy, thanks for joining me, bro. Tell everybody
Yeah.
where they
No
can find
problem.
you.
Well, for any of my ramblings on Forza or other games, you can follow me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on Breakfast with Boom on Fridays at 10 a.m. Find me on FSP at 6 p.m. with Mav and Just Key. And then later that night on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam and Pong Soul. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming out. And thank you for those that will watch this later on.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. And everybody in the chat, appreciate you. Yeah, Brian had just brought up a comment real quick before we head out. He said, a serious question: when people talk about the Activision Blizzard deal, why isn't the ownership of the MLG brought up? It's a part of it, like, for sure. I don't think
Mhm.
that, I think it was included in all of it. I don't think that was a target from Xbox to get MLG, right? I think it's a bonus that they have it. So I think it's just kind of on the wayside of everybody's thought process because they already, what did they get, like Smash.gg last
Yeah.
year? And we haven't
Yeah.
heard really anything about that since they
They
did
kind
that.
of
either.
They kind of merged it with MSN, so there's like a MSN gaming and streaming and like esports and
Right.
stuff like that. So you can see some of the stuff there. So it's opening it to people that would have just looked for the weather or the regular news. Now they have like a tab that they can see some of the gaming stuff. But I have a feeling after the next big Call of Duty release, we'll probably hear some more
Yeah,
about
but like
that
a lot
and
of these
Microsoft.
games have their own leagues now, right?
Yeah.
Like there's the Call of Duty League, there's a Halo Championship Series, and all these things,
Mhm.
right? So it's like MLG still has a huge name as far as like when people think of gaming and esports and stuff, but like because of all of these big games going their own route with stuff, it's interesting to see how it's gonna come into play. I know MLG is still huge, but like I honestly don't know what Microsoft's gonna do with it or how they're gonna do it. If they're just gonna kind of leave it alone, and reinvest into it larger, brand with it, market with it. I can imagine they'll use MLG events as a marketing tool, right? For
Yeah.
sure. You know, other than that, I have no clue, man. It's just it's a smaller part for me, because I'm not big into esports. I don't really think about esports. I don't ever really talk about esports. I don't really care about esports. As occasionally it's on, I see it. So when there's a discussion about anything esports related, I just kind of like, okay, cool. You know, it just doesn't interest me too much. So that may be one of the reasons. Like a lot of the gamers like us that follow a lot of the news and follow a lot of the big games coming out, we're more excited about playing the games ourselves. You know, aren't
Mhm.
really talking about it as much. You should do
Yeah.
a video on it, man. I'd be interested to see what you say. But anyway,
Mhm.
anyways, guys, appreciate you all tuning in to Tidbits again. Like I said, Fun Pops coming up on Wednesday. We got PM in the PM on Thursday, Xbox Ultimate on Friday, and FSP on Saturday. So looking forward to seeing you all, and I hope you have a good one. Take it easy, and bye bye.
Later.